Welcome to the second in our series of podcasts. This is me, Tim Thurston from Team I, and
Jamie of Correct Careers Coaching.
And today we're going to be talking about social media. Jamie, give us an overview of the different channels that constitute social media.
Yes. So social media has various different channels. Primarily LinkedIn is known as the business-to-business platform. We've also got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. YouTube is another channel, mostly for videos, second to Google in the rankings. And there is other various social media channels that individuals are still using, such as Snapchat, Pinterest. So a range of channels there, Tim.
So I guess each channel has slightly different purpose and reaches different markets and different target clients.
Yeah, I mean, when I sort of sales train on social media, I do get individuals asking me, well, which platform should I use? Or how many should I use? And the honest answer is, especially if you're starting out to use social media, is to trial them all. And the reason is for that is because you need to find which one works well for you, what more engagement you're getting with your audience, and targeting audience that is directly applicable to your business. But there are more useful social media channels that you can identify at the start for your business. So if I look at maybe the main ones that I would use or businesses would use, is probably LinkedIn. So LinkedIn has over now 660 million users. It is known as the business platform, as I mentioned, and it's actually quite interesting on there that if you're looking at different target markets. For example, 87 million are actually millennials on LinkedIn, and 11 million of them are decision makers. So, you really need to identify who your target market is. Facebook is the biggest platform of social media. You've got 2.23 billion users on there. I think Facebook was probably a bit more known as, a personal kind of channel, but it's actually been utilized quite well now for business. And the reason for that is because you probably say about 90% of people on LinkedIn are on Facebook anyway. Facebook has its uses because you can do live streaming on there and other various tools. So it is a big channel. Instagram has been quite popular in recent years, probably since Facebook took it over. But you've actually got now about 1 billion users on there and 8 million business profiles. I would probably say Instagram is a platform for visual types of businesses because it is a visual platform. It's also got its Instagram TV on there as well, so that's really useful because people are interested in film now more than ever. And again, I mentioned some of the other ones. YouTube is great. We all know YouTube. 1.9 billion users, and it is more of a video streaming platform. But Twitter has it has its uses. You can follow anyone on Twitter. About 335 million individuals on there. Engagement wise, you need to really proactively, engage with people's posts and message them. So maybe LinkedIn might be a better platform if you really want to target or build relationships with other businesses.
Okay, so what should someone be doing if they're in business? What should they be doing on social media? What would be the purpose of their strategy?
Yeah, I think the main purpose of social media really is for brand awareness and engaging not only with your existing customers, but also for, I wouldn't say necessarily prospecting new businesses because no one really likes to be sold to, but definitely building relationships with clients on there. So first of all, you need to definitely be seen and be present. So you need to visually promote yourself on say LinkedIn or Facebook if we talk about those two channels. So what are you posting about? What message are you giving to your audience? And how are you posting? There's various different aspects of that. And then again, think of your clients on there, your existing clients. Are you engaging with them? Are you liking their posts and commenting and sharing their posts? It's always nice to support others, and you can identify target markets, target businesses, and build relationships over a period of time using social media. So it has its uses. What's your thoughts on social media, Tim, and how businesses can utilize that for business relationships, shall we say?
I think my concern Jamie, is the magnitude of it. You've talked about the reach there. Now, obviously, as a business, I want to reach people, but not to that degree. So I want to be a bit more targeted. I know that it's a great channel, and I respond. There are great channels, and I respond to them myself. So it's trying to get that balance between investment and return. So how much time should I spend on it? What should I be putting on it? How am I going to make sure it resonates? One thing that Liz McDermott, who I was talking to the other day, said that, and I think you've mentioned this before, it's understanding the questions that your potential customers are asking and then provide the answers to that. That's a good line of content, of how to generate content on social media. Answer the questions that your customers are asking, and then purport yourself to be an expert in your fields, and then from that you're building your brand awareness. So my concern really, Jamie, is how much time should I be spending on it to make sure I get the right level of return, given that it can be quite consuming.
Yeah. There is, good questions there. There's a lot of noise on social media, and yeah, you're saying, that there is a lot of channels and a lot of wide audience. So the best way to probably do that is to structure some time in the week. There are different days for best times of postings. So this information is on the internet, and you can identify, okay, when should I post on LinkedIn? What day and time is known as the best for engagement. I would definitely, and me myself personally, I post every day, probably in the morning when that's when I structured it in my day to do so. I think if you do not post on social media, then you are potentially missing engagement with like-minded businesses, your existing clients. So you really got to just be structured with it. I wouldn't say it does recommend on some platforms 3 to 5 posts a day, because everyone's looking at it at different times, but not everyone's blessed with that amount of time. So first of all, it's beta testing, trial and error, do what works for yourself. You can also do automation. So Facebook's got a good automation platform, and if you use apps like Buffer, that will automate posts to LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. So you can automate it and set that up, say at the end of the weekend, ready for next week if you have a busy week. I think you're right in what you said there, and a good comment about what message are you giving about your business or in the actual posts. If you want to shortlist your followers, shall we call them, if you start posting and you are getting likes and comments, then that's your sort of following who is interested in your social media. And so first of all, you could approach them. What do you like about my post? Should I provide more content like this? I have actually heard, although people are posting on social media, they're not actually engaging with the individuals that have engaged with their posts. So that really is an action point and a top tip for many people to take away. The one thing I think would really help most people if they are new to social media and don't know exactly, how to shortlist their audience, is use groups. You can sign on to Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, or create your own group or own company pages. And then you can invite people and engage with a smaller audience within those groups, where you're going to have a bit more of a fruititious conversation.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. Is that you're starting a conversation, aren't you? And once you've made your post and someone does comment on it, if you don't then reply, well, in the real world, so to speak, as opposed to the virtual world, we wouldn't ignore someone that's asked us to question or commented on something that we're trying to promote, would they? No,
you're quite right, Tim.
Okay, so in summary then, Jamie, what would you say are the benefits and the limitations of using social media?
Yeah, I think the benefits definitely are, you're promoting your brand. It's not just talking about, there is a rule of, 90% information sharing, 10% selling. So, and only selling in the fact that you are making aware to the audience about the services or products you provide. But it's more about information sharing. So, what value are you giving to your audience and to the people who are engaging with you? So the benefits are you can go to a wider audience, you can go to a different target market, and you can go to multiple people at once. So individuals and businesses you never even thought about, they may engage with your post. So that could potentially lead it into, a business conversation. I suppose the limitations, like you mentioned, which channel to use, which time consumption, I've sort of addressed those areas during the conversation. But I think, most people are not embracing social media, and they maybe that's because they don't know what to post or how to post it. My advice is to either research how to do it, trial and test it, or go to someone who knows about social media, because the worst thing you can do probably is not to embrace it, because you are potentially missing out on keeping your business visual, especially during current situations where business is adapting. So those would probably be the main points there, Tim.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Jamie. Good. Okay, that's so in summary, Jamie, what are your top tips for someone who's planning their social media strategy?
Yeah, so we talked various areas within social media, during this sort of this talk. My top tips is definitely to utilize social media. It's easier to communicate and engage with clients, stakeholders, but also your team within social media. So definitely use it and learn how to use it if you aren't embracing it so much. Learn how to use it effectively. So there's different types of engagement on social media, whether you post images, videos, articles, writing top tips articles. It shows your passion and being an expert within your field, and especially in current situation of social isolation. Keeping in contact with others. You can really utilize a platform such as LinkedIn for developing your business. In fact, I was recommending something to a business the other day. If they are a business which like a labouring type of company that requires to go on site and physically do something for someone, you could actually stream videos on social media, record videos of training people to do certain elements of it, which is possible for anyone to do, and then you can share that with others. So it's really just applying social media to your advantage. And any top tips yourself there, Tim?
No, I think that you've summed up really well, Jamie. Well done. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thank you, Tim.